Okay, welcome to Northumberland Festival of the Arts. In this series, we talked to artists, civic leaders, and art lovers. And my name is Donna Wootton, and today I am speaking to Fabian Arciniegas, who is a musician, singer, and voice teacher who lives here in Coburg. Welcome, Fabian.
Thank you very much, Donna.
So it's lovely to have you. And can we start off with what does art mean to you?
Oh, that's a great question. Art for me is human expression, and those who produce or do art, make art, they're just brave enough to share their humanity to all the people, and uh, and the result is this point in time, or when in the case of performing arts, or in space, where you see that expression and you as an audience, you can connect to that humanity and realize how you are part of something bigger than yourself.
Yes, that's a nice universal answer. So what has been your experience, to bring it more local? What has been your experience here in Northumberland? What's been your arts experience?
Well, I was raised and trained as an opera singer. So when I came to Canada, I'm not new to Canada anymore. I've been living here for 10 years, more than 10 years. Um, but I came here to do my master's degree in opera at the University of Toronto. So for me, then coming to Northumberland was sort of fortuitous because my wife's parents, they live in Port Hope, so we came here to this area, and then we really liked it. We said, "Oh my goodness, no, we cannot move to the big city, especially with one kid at a time. Now we have two." Um, but we decided that this was like the perfect place to raise kids, and we decided to stay. So obviously, coming here, I didn't know anybody, and for me, so most of my career and singing career has happened more obviously because of what I do in the city and around those areas. Um, but for me, art was the 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 opportunity to meet people through it. So I joined and had the opportunity for the first time in my life. I always performed opera, like serious opera and all this classical music, and I always dreamed uh, about doing musical theater. And it was something because I'm so specialized. I didn't see like an opportunity uh, professionally in terms of, like, I don't know, mirror vision, all those things, because that's a like very specific path. But I still wanted to do it, so I said, okay, I'm going to join one of the groups here in town that do musical theater at um, like a community level, and I did spam a lot. That was years ago, but that was like beautiful. I met so many people that I'm still in contact with them. We became good friends, um, and I was able to sing in a musical theater uh, play. That was so much fun, so much
Right.
fun. I would do it more, but community productions take a long, long, long time and commitment. So yeah, so it's very difficult because of that. But that was such a fun experience, and after that, I was able to do even more, like in terms of classical. I did operetta and in Toronto, and that was super fun because with this experience of all the dancing and all the things that you have to do, it was very close. Yeah. So arts in Northumberland, for me, that little experience just summarize what art can do for you, and that happened here.
Yes, that's wonderful. So that would be your proudest moment here, is it? That you got to do some.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
In terms of Northumberland, that was like beautiful. That was beautiful.
And where did you sing opera? Where?
Oh, well, well, don't do it as often now, but I sing with Canadian Opera Chorus. Uh, and then I worked with smaller companies in the GTA, and I've also developed a career as a contemporary singer.
Mhm.
So contemporary, like new composers, because that's a niche that's not uh, developed enough in a way, like young composers or modern classical composers, in a way. It's just a way to say it. Uh, they're often ignored because we're always doing the same Beethoven, which is great, but the new voices also need a space. They need to be sung. So I do a lot of that too.
I was just introduced to Against the Grain. Do you know that group?
Oh yeah, they're amazing because what they do is they redo
Hmm.
like they're for
Reimagine. Yeah.
reimagine.
Yeah.
That's great to put it. Great way to put it. These older works and put it like in a more modern setting. I love what they do. They're
Mhm.
really good.
Yeah, I know Maria Sulis, who introduced me to. Do you know
Oh,
her?
okay.
She sang in one of them. That's how I became connected to it. And she interviewed somebody from Against the Grain.
Oh, okay.
Well, now I'm doing this with you, so it's wonderful. So,
Eh,
what are your greatest challenges here in your line of work? Do you find?
well, I feel that in terms of for classical musicians, uh, the audiences they tend to go like the ones that can. Obviously, they go to Toronto
Mhm.
to experience classical music. There's a little movements here and there, but maybe there's one that's a little bit more consistent. Is Les Amis concerts. Uh,
Right.
they do it at the Loft. That's great. Uh, but I think that there's at the rate that Northumberland is growing, there's space to also grow
Mhm.
that offer in music. Uh, di- More experiences like that, I think, are needed. Um, Also, uh, diversity, more. I think the audience in general and the population is changing. I remember we always make this joke among our friends that when I came to Coburg 10 years ago, felt that I was the diversity. I
Mhm.
was Arciniegas, and now you start to see like a different, like more diversity in the
Mhm.
population. So that's for me that's great because I feel that diversity enrich the space.
Right. Yeah, and certainly the Hispanic community with the Northumberland Hispanic Culture Club, which is
Yes,
where I got your name, and it's very active and isn't it? Very active in all the different arts.
totally. And that's one of the things that I would love to do, like more representation in terms of show the community uh, this like how it is growing and how are now new influences and new voices
Mhm.
um, in the
Yes, and that's
yeah.
exactly what we are looking for in the festival for next fall. And we are looking for that kind of diversity. So you are a very rich source. You have, like for the future, do you have other hopes? Looking even beyond next fall? But certainly, as I say, we would like to have you involved in next fall's events.
Oh, thank you. Um, well, in the future, what I would like to see is that more diversity, more representation for the different parts that are this community. Uh, more communication among the people. Sometimes I feel that the newcomers, the people that get new to the area, they don't know how to engage. Like
Mhm.
it's, and I felt a little bit that at the beginning when I was here, uh, because it was like a smaller community. It felt like a smaller community, and like everybody knew each other.
Mhm.
But now because it's getting it's expanding, it's getting bigger. Um, I feel that this would be a great opportunity to show all the new people that are new to the area that this there's this vibrant artistic community and representation.
Yeah, so more
Yes.
outreach. Yeah. So you can see yourself with our Dakota to help you out display to showcase some of that.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
As you said you did look online and had a good look at what we were doing, and
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
that
No,
can
it it
you
it,
to
it
talk to me. Good.
it it's
Yeah.
totally. I'm like, oh, I need to totally. I did. When did the festival start?
Well, there was a festival a few years back, and it was quite small. And then we had one in 2019, and we were hoping to have one last year. So, sort of every other year. And the last time it was held at St. Peter's Church over here on
Okay.
King Street. And so it was quite localized. So this time we want to make it broader, bigger, more encompassing of all the different arts, and in the wider geographical community. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, it looks amazing. Like really, I'm really would love to be part of this for sure.
Yes, we hope you can. We hope you can.
Yeah. So yeah, that's. I think that's the kind of things that we need right now, and especially after this. We don't know what's gonna happen, right? But I hope that this pandemic starts slow down at some point.
Right.
So, uh,
Yes, for
uh,
sure. Well, we're hoping that too, because
so
this has been quite a surprise for us with the Omicron. So we're hoping that doesn't, something other strange thing doesn't pop up next fall, because there's a lot of planning. There are a lot of people engaged in planning this event. So
great,
yeah,
great.
yeah, and do you see yourself, like, do you work, like, do you have a full, do you find that you are fully engaged in your work? Are you busy enough here, or?
Well, I was working a lot, commuting, uh,
Aha.
with
Okay,
teaching and singing. I usually would go to Toronto and in between. And pandemic changed obviously all that. So I started focusing more to work online, and I enjoy that a lot
oh good.
because I have the opportunity to work with people from around the world, like all over the world. So
Good, good.
that's really really good, and I have the opportunity then to spend more time at home with my
Mm-hmm.
family.
Mm-hmm.
So I cannot complain
Mm-hmm.
about that. Uh, and I'm working with the people that I want to work with. So I'm very specific. Like I like to work with people that are committed to develop their voice, like high level, even if it's for themselves, but like not all the people that I work with want to have like a singing career, but they are all into using their voices as a personal development tool.
Mhm.
Like for some people, that's it, and that's great for me. I before I didn't have that. I was just teaching to whoever I was coming, and
Mhm.
that's not what I realized that I didn't want to do that anymore.
Yes.
So yeah, so in that sense, I'm really happy doing this uh, work because it's very rewarding. And at the same time, I can combine and choose more what I want to do as a singer. And same thing, I don't want to accept any project that is offered. Like it has to be something that really uh, excites me and satisfies me as an artist.
That's wonderful to hear because really these times then have benefited you in many ways and you've taken good advantage of it and found resilience and being creative in the way you can uh, reach out. Well done. It's nice to
Thank you.
hear. It's nice to hear. Well,
Thank you.
thank you so much for taking the time with us. It
Oh
was
no, my pleasure.
wonderful
I'm.
talking to you.
You know what? That's the thing. Now that I'm more home, uh, and and enjoying the area, like these 2 pandemic years, I've never been. I've never enjoyed as much of these surroundings. We are so fortunate. Like I remember we went to the north in northern Ontario uh, for in August, I think. We say, oh, let's go. So because we were always here, so we wanted to. And then when we were out there, it was close to Georgian Bay,
Right?
and we were like, oh, this is so beautiful, but this is not so different from Coburg. we could have we could have stayed. Like, we're so spoiled here, and we don't realize. So that made me think like I really want to engage more with here with in terms of art of what I do with the people around here.
Right.
Like the singing, yes, the voice lessons like online is perfect for me, but I think there's a need to do more in terms of artistic things that we can
Yes, there certainly is.
develop. There's
And there's
so
certain,
much
yeah,
to do.
there is. Yeah. And you're part of our wonderful talent and diversity. So again, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
No,
being part
thank you for having me. That
of
was a real pleasure.